Welcome back to Sustainable Energy. You'll discover how to get precise assessment of your food's environmental footprint. Let's head over to Zurich now to meet an entrepreneur who's putting plate power in the palm of our hands.
We found out that 30% of all greenhouse gas emissions originate from our food consumption, and just the simple awareness of what pattern or what foods we consume can reduce this by more than 50%. This was the initial trigger that we founded Eternity and that we took responsibility. My name is Manuel Klammer. I am the CEO and co-founder of Eternity. We look to precisely measure the environmental footprint of our food. We are going to provide an app that allows you to scan the barcode of basically any product that you find in the supermarket, and it provides you with the carbon footprint of that product. So one fact about the Eternity score, that's the label that we put on the product, is that we do not only calculate the CO2 emissions, but we put it in comparison to over 100,000 different products. Supermarkets have a responsibility. If they would be able to provide those numbers on the packages, on the little signs that they have there, society would shift. So that's also why we just make the data available to everyone. The initial spark gave my partner, Judith, who came up with the idea. I was hoping that there might be some intelligence that can show us the right path towards making the right decisions when it comes to environmental impacts. We already created a web app that you can just click on our website, and you have a recipe manager. So this recipe manager specifically allows restaurants to type in a recipe and to see also the same carbon impact when it comes to meal and dish-based CO2 emissions. The eventual goal is that we go below 10 kilograms of meat consumption per year. We live in a cooperative here that 1,000 people live there, and we grow our own food. We have solar panels on the roof, electric cars. It's 1,000 people that care about sustainability, and they came all together here. It's really nice because it's also a new form of living. It's a satellite flat. It means that 10 people live together in one flat. Everyone has its own room, but we cook together and we eat together. 5 years ago, we found a great restaurant that already started serving mostly vegan and vegetarian meals. So we joined with them. We helped them communicate on the topic, but in a way that is not offensive, but it creates a pathway here. And
we are vegetarians, and we just didn't have a place to go. So we wanted to create a vibrant, modern place with just good food. I believe you can become sustainable, for example, by having a seasonal menu. Of course, working with local suppliers as well, and creating tasty dishes, so breaking maybe habits as well. Together with Eternity, we could give more fundamentals. So kind of to base it, we did a project together where we calculated all our food supply during 1 year.
Then we did the calculation with Tibbets and showed them, we can do 62% better and everyone is happy and it's delicious. What motivates me every day is being able to look into the eyes of my 4-year-old child. There's this consciousness about what is going to happen if we don't act. That brings me into a moral imperative situation, and I care about humanity, I care about people.
Olivier, how do you see the future for startups such as Eternity in the growing local food industry?
Consumers today want to be supported in making the right choices. They are concerned about the environmental impacts of their eating habits. They are concerned about the health impacts of industrialized food systems, and applications such as those that can help them to make the right choices certainly shall have a major influence in the future in shaping a new food culture that is now emerging.
Olivier, how big a part of climate change is caused by food waste?
Well, it is a major problem. We have lots of losses during the harvesting period on the fields. Food is not processed, consumed in time and gets rot. And we have food waste at different segments of the food chain, in the processing industry, in the catering industry, the food services, and of course within households. Altogether, about 1/3 of the food that we produce is lost or wasted. That is an enormous amount, and it requires that we change the focus from increasing production at all costs to reducing food losses and waste at all costs, and this can be done by improving the efficiency of food chains.
And this takes a lot of energy as well. So what use could there be, for the food that we are not actually consuming?
Well, of course, there are many uses that could be made of agricultural waste and of food that is not consumed. This is why composting schemes, and this is why the recycling in cities of non-consumed food items has developed very importantly. And we also have many cities that are encouraging small NGOs, charities to team with supermarkets in order to provide food aid to families in need, in order to avoid that food that is not consumed and that nearing its sell-by date will be dumped in waste fields.
Looking forward into the future, as the world population grows, how are we going to feed 8 billion people more sustainably and more healthfully?
The future is smaller farming units that can practice a much more diversified type of farming, much better for biodiversity and soil health, and that can be very productive per hectare. The key challenge today is to move to the most resource-efficient way of producing food, to reduce food losses and waste, and to reduce, therefore, the environmental impacts of food production and consumption.
What kind of nature-based solutions can help us eat more sustainably and save more energy as well?
Well, many scientists now and the FAO are promoting the idea of agroecology, which is a much more cyclical way of producing food, much less linear and industrial. Cyclical in the sense that in agroecology, you use local inputs, you reduce the need to import external inputs, fertilizers, pesticides, and you try to recycle the waste that you produce on the farm.
Olivier, thank you for having us here at the Urban Farm, and thanks for your time.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
From the farmer's field to the 5-star rated restaurant, the food industry looks as if it's ready to embrace a greener, more environmentally friendly future. And we hope you are too. Remember, you can join the discussion and even show us your favorite food picks by tweeting us at CNBC Energy using the hashtag #SustainableEnergy. Until next time, thanks for watching.
Still watching? Perfect. Click here to watch another great video from CNBC International. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.